Wake up your morning in a brand new way with the positive people, places, events, and things in and around your neighborhood and around the world. No matter where you live, your mornings are about to get better. It's the refreshing way to start your day. No doom or gloom, just bright sunshine no matter what the weather. Metro Magazine with Bonnie McDaniel. Inspiring, informative, intelligent, Ion. Positively the best way to start your morning. Good morning and welcome to Metro Magazine. We are here with Muse this morning, the crooner from, would you say the 90s, the 2000s? Early
2000s.
Okay. And we're going to be talking to him about his exciting new project as well as looking at his journey since the age of 16 that you've been, I guess, doing this. So
Absolutely, yes.
Welcome to Metro Magazine.
Thank you.
Michael, you know, I learned about you through a mutual friend. I guess maybe she's managing you, I'm not sure.
Somewhat. She's doing a few things for me.
Okay. And I'm not sure how you guys came together, but she called me and she says, Bonnie, you absolutely must hear Michael sing. So I hope I'm not putting you on the spot because I'm going to ask you to do a couple of bars or something while we're here on the air. You're going to be fine. You're a professional, right?
We'll see what we can come up with. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your music. I mentioned that you started out at the age of 16.
Yes.
So talk to me about that. What inspired you to go into the music business, if you will?
Well, I've known that I was gifted in that area since the age of 5.
Okay. And how did you know that? Were you singing in church or
singing at home and to girls my age over the phone?
Oh gosh, so this is about you getting dates.
Oh yeah, somewhat, or just being noticed, so to speak.
Okay.
And my mom, she bought me a Panasonic 8-track or a Panasonic cassette player at the age of 8.
Okay.
And one of the tapes she also bought was Blue Magic, their greatest hits.
Okay.
And I fell in love with that 70s Philly soul sound once I heard that tape and learned every song on that tape verbatim.
So these were the songs you sang to your prospective beaux, was it?
Exactly.
So did it work?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes.
So you started out you recognized the fact that you had a talent at age 5.
Yes.
And again, you mentioned that at age 16 was when you started.
Mm-hmm.
What was the occurrence, or what was the event that that led you to launching your career as a singer?
Well, it was my first year in high school, and I wanted to get some attention, I guess, from the high school girls. So I did the talent show at Dunbar Senior High School.
Everybody, did so you went to Dunbar?
I went to Dunbar.
Okay.
And
a lot of good talent has come out of Dunbar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The school has a rich tradition.
Yeah, it does. So you did a talent show. Did you win?
I did.
I
did
impressed.
win.
Okay.
I did win. Actually, it was a talent show, not a contest.
Right.
But as far as the reaction from the crowd, I think I got the best reaction.
Okay,
but
so what did you sing?
I sang Always and Forever by Heatwave.
So you know what's next, right?
Wow.
Come on, you can do it.
The Heatwave? Always and forever, each moment with you is just like a dream to me that somehow came true. And I know tomorrow will still be the same, 'cause we've got a life of love that won't ever change.
Okay.
That's enough.
This is too early in the morning to be doing this show. Do you see why I love my job? I have somebody, Micah Muse, singing to me early in the morning. That was impressive.
Well,
so
thank you
sang that, and the
sang
reaction of the crowd. And so at that point, what were your thoughts in terms of singing?
My thoughts were, hey, let's try to take this to another level. But the irony of that situation was that my aunt was there who did not know I could sing. She happened to work with the brother of one of the members of Rare Essence.
Okay.
And he told her they needed a singer. So,
oh, wow. Talking about destiny.
Yeah. got the audition, and the rest is history.
Okay. And so you started singing with Rare Essence at age 16?
At 16.
Okay. And was it a recording contract or just kind of touring with them?
Just
Talk
a
about that.
management contract, basically.
Okay. So you were appearing with them?
Appearing with them
Okay.
all over the East Coast, basically. We toured up and down the East Coast.
Talk about some of the highlights of that tour, some places that you went in that maybe some of our viewing audience might be familiar with.
We did pretty big shows with people like George Clinton,
Okay.
New Edition when they first started. I've graced the stage with O'Brien, Curtis Blow, Cameo. A lot of these which were at the old Capitol Center in Landover at that time, where the Bullets at that time played basketball.
Oh wow, that's a throwback. That's right. They used to be called the Bullets,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, the Bullets. Actually.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So you sang with them, toured with them, and how long did that relationship last?
Just 3 years.
Which is long in that business.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, and I ended up going to the military for about 4 years.
Okay,
after
what branch of the military?
Navy.
Okay, and you were there for how long?
From 86 to 90.
Okay, so you were in the Navy. So let me ask you, because you know where my mind is going. Who is it?
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say. I don't know what you're talking about.
The YMCA people.
Wow.
No, you were singing. I'm just thinking Navy.
No, well, that's not one of the songs that I sang, but you know.
I wasn't saying you were singing the song. I'm just thinking you're in the Navy.
Yeah.
So did you sing in the Navy? Was what I'm really asking.
Absolutely, everywhere I went.
Okay. Did you perform for for the troops or?
No, we didn't do anything like that. You know, anytime we went to another country, we would find the nearest club.
Oh, so you were singing, okay.
Yeah.
So you did kind of, I don't think then they were calling it karaoke, were they?
No, actually, in Norway specifically, we were over there and they had a live band. And I just got on stage and sang with the band, and they wanted me to stay in Norway. And I told them I couldn't, you know, I have to leave.
Are you going to go AWOL, were you?
Right, I have to leave when the ship leaves, you know. But,
oh my gosh.
I really had a ball over there.
So you were in the Navy for
4 years.
For 4 years. And so you left the Navy, and when you came back stateside, did you go back to your music professionally?
I immediately got back with Rare Essence.
Okay, and talk to me about, because was that the group you were with where you wrote a song?
Yes.
For them, and talk about that song.
I wrote a song called Back Up Against the Wall, and I actually wrote that during my first tenure with Rare Essence at the age of 17.
Okay.
That was their second release. Didn't do big numbers, but you know, it was an experience to sit down and take pen to pad and write my first song and actually hear it on the radio.
Okay, okay.
So that was,
I know, talking about the business side, because I'm a businesswoman, and I immediately think, okay, you wrote a song and it's being played here, there, and everywhere. Were you savvy enough at the time to pen a deal where it was in perpetuity, where you were getting paid after the fact?
No.
You weren't?
No, just a kid, didn't know the business.
Okay.
Just having a lot of fun and enjoying every bit of it, but not knowing the business side. Of course, in the record industry, you will get taken advantage of.
And that's, I want you to spend a moment there, because there are a lot of budding artists who are out there, and they get excited, you know, they get on the stage and it's like, oh my gosh, people love me. Talk about the importance of having a good plan, because it is a business at the end of the day.
It is, and the business has to be just as much or more important to the artist as the actual artistic side. Because if you don't make money off you, someone else will. And that's where the exploitation comes into play. And the last thing, I always say, if I would have known then what I know now, I would probably be a millionaire.
Yeah. Well, hopefully a billionaire, you know.
Exactly.
Because, yeah. Because, you know, and talking about business again, a lot of, because I work with not musicians necessarily, but people in different types of businesses, and they get, again, you're an entrepreneur, you're a performer, whatever, and you just get caught up in the lights. And one of the things that I try to do when I'm working with people is make sure that they understand that this is your livelihood.
Right.
So you got to take care of the business and understand your relationships with, you know, the people that you connect with are good ones.
Right.
And so talk to me. Did you at some point, or have you gotten to the point now where you are able to exercise some of that wisdom in your business.
Yeah,
because
I am.
you have a new project right now. Talk about that project and what are some of the lessons you learned and the things that you're doing that are different.
Well, the great thing about the music industry now is that you can be an independent label. You can be independent of all label obligations because of the internet. You can publish your own music. You can get paid every dime that belongs to you with that. And with the project that I have out now, the name of the group is called The Birth of Dorian.
Okay, and you have a couple of your members here.
Yes.
Actually, your producer and
my bad dynamite bass player.
and we're going to have them come on and peek in just for a moment
Okay.
in another segment in this interview. But so you have now just issued, you said you had 3 singles,
Three
on the new
singles.
project that you're working on.
Yeah.
And how long has that been out?
It's been out actually moving real slow. It's been out about 2 years now,
Okay,
honestly.
okay.
But again, with the internet, it really doesn't have a time limit on it. You know, you can go to sites such as iTunes and purchase music whenever now. And we're building it song by song. And maybe when we get 10 good songs on there, we'll release it as an entire CD project.
Okay, and you know we're going to transition a moment when we come back because I
Okay.
want to talk a little bit more on the personal side because I know there are some things that are going on in your life, have been going on for a couple of years, and I want our audience to know about not just your music, but what's going on in your life. So we're going to take a quick break,
Okay.
and when we come back, we're going to go into that space.
Sounds good.
And we're going to be right back with more Metro Magazine. Stay tuned.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year, 1 in 195 million. The odds of the child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 110. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism.
Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Really? Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
And we're back with more Metro Magazine. If you're just joining us, we're here with Michael Muse, who is the crooner, who's been singing with people like
Rare Essence.
Rare Essence. Thank you
Yes.
very much. It's early in the morning.
Yeah.
And we were talking to you about your journey in
Yes.
music and referencing your new project. I know that from our mutual friend that one of these songs was inspired by something that happened in your life a couple of years ago. So I hate to put you on the spot, but I think that this interview might be able to help. So you want to share with our audience what's going on?
Well, the song Dry Your Eyes was actually inspired by a breakup with my ex. You know, in relationships, they say hindsight is 20/20, and you think of all the things that you should have done or could have done, and everything's clear when it's too late.
Now, were you married? Or?
Yes, we
Okay.
were.
How long were you married?
We were married for 3 years, 4 years actually. And you know, artists are inspired by life's experiences, and when I wrote Dry Your Eyes, it was basically me saying that I'm sorry for the part that I played in the imperfect relationship.
Okay.
You know, but jumping a little bit more into the future, that song can be applicable to a situation I'm going through now with myself and crying a lot over the tragedy that's going on in my life now. I have a 21-year-old son who's been missing for 2 years. He disappeared July 15th of 2012, and we've been trying to find him ever since. They're not.
What were the circumstances? Because you know that happens a lot. And if I can just interrupt for a minute, I know that we just over the past week there was a young woman, early
Right.
20s, who was abducted
Right.
off the street. in Philadelphia, and
Right.
thank God they were able to
They found her, yeah.
find her. But in a lot of instances, that's not the good outcome.
Right.
So tell us, what were the circumstances under which your son disappeared?
Well, my son, he happens to be a twin. I have twins, a boy and a girl, a man and a woman now. My daughter still lives with me. They moved with me solely when they were 14 years old. And I raised them by myself up until, through high school into adulthood. My son, he would always get in trouble doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it seemed kind of insane after a while. And at 16, he finally divulged to us that there had been an issue of molestation going on with him since he was 3 years old.
Oh my God.
By a male family member who was not much older than him. They were both kids at the same time. So after that, it started to explain why the repetitive behavior, that was his way of dealing with his pain and confusion, I would imagine. With that, he finished high school with honors. Boy, he was smart, and took some college courses and passed them. He was on his way. And then one day he just disappeared.
Was from school, or had he gone out with some friends?
He
or?
had left out one night and he said, "I'll be back, Dad." And he never came back.
He didn't say where he was going?
No. I didn't question it, his whereabouts. I would always say, just give me a call or someone else I can call in case I can't get in touch with you. And when he left, he said, "I'll be back," and he never came back.
Oh gosh, and I have children, and I know that young people these days, they think they're invincible.
Exactly.
And I know that even though both my kids don't live, they're out of the house, they're young adults, and I always say to my daughter especially, send me a text, send your dad a text, so we know where you are and where you were the last time at a certain period.
Exactly.
Because
so you have a trail to...
You have a trail to begin to look. And the reason I bring that up is, did you have any kind of trail?
No, once we filed the missing persons report, I just basically went through my phone and redialed all the numbers he had ever called me from. And oddly, half of them weren't working anymore.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. What was the reaction of the authorities? Because I'll tell you, being in the business that I'm in, I notice, especially in Atlanta, a lot of people are not aware of this, there are tons and tons of African American young people, children, who are missing, and it never hits the news.
Never hits the news, you're right.
What happened with your son when you reported him missing?
Well,
what was the reaction?
Unfortunately and surprisingly, the District of Maryland that I live in, they only have one person who handles the entire missing persons department.
And do you know how many people are missing in Maryland?
Jeez, I'd say hundreds. And she's all by herself. She has no staff, it's just her.
And that is an atrocity, especially when you consider, we just had an election, and I don't live in Maryland, but that would have been one of the things that I would have been looking for, is to make sure that they had resources, because we have to protect our children.
Absolutely.
There are a lot of predators out there, and sex trafficking and all of those kinds of things are very prevalent today. So her being the only person, you reported it, so what was done?
She immediately deemed it non-critical because of his age.
Because he's a young adult? A
young adult, and you really can't tell an adult where to go or what to do, but after a month and no activity in his bank account, who his grandmother kept close, because she had access to it. He didn't have a job when he left, so why haven't you touched your bank account? Something's wrong.
Wow, yeah, because he would have to be able to eat and to live somewhere.
Right.
So it's just been nothing.
Well, the rumor mill. I know someone that knows someone's cousin who saw him here. It's always one of those type of stories. Some reports we've seen him looking homeless, but it's never someone that I can get my hands on or reach out to. It's always a third party or fourth party, and we finally got it on the news back in November of last year.
Okay, and what news outlet?
NBC4 gave us a 48-second spot. And it's just funny that the police showed up in droves that day, as if, this is very important. I guess they're media
Sure,
department.
sure.
You know.
And I'll be very honest with you. I told you this off camera. One of the reasons, because I think, first of all, I think you're very, very talented. But one of the main reasons I wanted to do this interview was to get personal, was
Yes.
to talk about your son who is missing, and if you can provide us with a photograph of this young man, because we have a very, very far reach.
Okay.
I'm hoping that this will spark something so
yeah.
that you can find him and have some closure.
Yeah.
So I guess at this point, you know, balancing the emotions behind that and trying to move your music forward. Talk to me. It must be very, very difficult. Yeah.
It is. It's a fine line. Music and my talent has always been my passion and my joy. And I'm also involved with another group outside of mine who I've been dealing with for quite some time now. And that's not fun anymore. I mean, musicians, we have our creative differences, but the bottom line is that you have to be a kind person. And, you know, dealing with a particular person in this group is just not a kind person. So it's time to move on.
And you know what, in everything, relationships, you know, jobs or whatever, I really believe there is a set time period that you're supposed to operate in that space. And when it's not working anymore, you move on, everybody's happy, you know, hey, it was nice, and you move on, and the world is good. So when we come back, we're going to take another quick break.
Okay.
We're going to have your road docs come on with you. And we're going to talk to them just for a moment and have you introduce them on camera.
Sure.
And then share with us how can we help you, first of all, with anything that we might be able to do, or, you know, have you talk to the camera about your son. Because I really want to see him found, or you to get some closure on that. Because again, I'm a mom, and I can't even begin to imagine the pain of that. And then let people know where they can find your music and all that good stuff. So we're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back with more Metro Magazine.
Thinking of a time when our love was new.
Really? Buds, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, smoky.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
A gentle breeze that flows through my mind. There are not enough words to describe who you are, baby.
And we're back with more Metro Magazine, and we are here with Michael Muse, and he's being joined right now by his producer and
my bass player and stage music director.
Okay, so you can give their names, because
to my right, the fabulous and outspoken Jock Johnson, guitarist extraordinaire and producer. He produced all the tracks on the project that we have out now. And to my left here, from one of the most renowned names in DC music history, the Busey family, Keith Busey, my bass player and stage director.
Okay, and you were mentioning that, I think it was
his sister.
His sister. Talk about his sister, because she's
you want to talk about her? Michelle Indigecello is Jock Johnson's younger sister.
Okay.
I mean, in the alternative R&B pop world, her name stands, out. She's a DC native. Actually went to Howard with me.
All right, but you mentioned when we were talking off camera that you trained. You were trained at Howard University.
Yes, I was.
Voice training?
Yes.
Okay, and you also mentioned, which is a very interesting tidbit, your dad was in the music business. So tell the audience, what was your dad's name, and talk a little bit about him.
My dad was a musician very popular in the 60s and 70s in New York by the name of Chuck Hindley. He was a sax player, started out as a singer, and then he learned to play the sax. Toured a lot with the likes of King Curtis and Lionel Hampton, and just speaking with him from time to time, he's told me he's even done shows with Peabo Bryson. Traveled around the world, a consummate musician. Unfortunately, my dad passed in 2011.
Okay.
We really never had a relationship. I really didn't get to know my dad till I was about 40 years old.
Oh, wow.
But those last 4 years, staying close with him was a big learning experience for me. He taught me some things about life that only a man can teach another man. And, you know, I thank God for my dad.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you talk about the idea of him teaching you a lot about life. In particular, music, since he came out of that.
Yes.
That arena. What was one of the most valuable lessons you were able to get from him, to gain from him?
Musically, he kind of just reiterated some things I had already learned because, like I said, I really didn't get a relationship with him until I was about 40 years old. But he said, always watch your people. The people in your circle can be the worst people that you could possibly have around you. Say, as long as you watch your people, you always will have the one up. You know?
And you know what, I say that to people, and I actually live by that because I'm a very, very positive thinking person. And so if there's any glimpse of negativity coming from someone who's trying to enter my space, I lock the door.
Yeah.
Because people do bring their energy, they bring their negativity, they bring all of their baggage with them. And it doesn't make them bad people, it just means that
it can tear you down.
It can tear you down. And for me personally, I can't function with that. So that was a great piece of advice coming from your dad. Give me another piece of advice he might have given you.
He was telling me some things about women and God.
Talk about the women.
Women
Then
and
you
God.
started singing to him. So what did he tell you
said
about
you
women?
will never find your happiness in a woman. He said you will find your happiness in God. And when that happiness is at the fulfillment stage that it should be in, God will bring you the right woman.
Wow, your dad was very wise because he's absolutely right. And as a matter of fact, not just you finding your happiness in a woman, and I'm talking to you sisters out there, you cannot find your happiness in a man. Your happiness comes from within.
Yes.
And if God is abiding, since we are made by God and for God, if he's abiding there, you're bringing that God to the space
There you go.
that you're trying to exist in. And he was absolutely right because people change.
Yes.
And if you're coming into a relationship and you're waiting for people to fulfill whatever that void is in you, you're going to get disappointed every time.
Yeah.
So, anything else? Did he tell you anything else?
Oh, he gave me a few of his records.
Okay.
And he told me if he passes on, you know, I can reuse that music.
So he owned the rights to?
Yes, to his. One of his biggest hits was called Sagittarius, and you can actually find some of his songs on YouTube under Chuck Hindley. He also modeled for Marlboro for a minute.
Oh, wow.
He was a black Marlboro man.
Are you serious?
He did
Now, you see, you're going to make me go to YouTube to pull him up. And Marlboro is a cigarette. I don't smoke, never smoked
he had
before
a big
in my life.
mustache. I guess maybe that's why they used him.
Okay.
You know.
Oh, my gosh. And when was that?
That Marlboro spot he showed me, honestly, I don't know if it
Was it
ever
back
got
in the
published, but it was
50s
in
or-
the early 70s,
Okay.
I believe, yeah. And he posed with his saxophone and a cigarette because he loved to smoke.
That is impressive.
So,
Very, very impressive, especially because until Essence Magazine and Ebony, you know, started publishing, we were just never really considered to be a part of that world.
Exactly.
So he was a trailblazer, not just in music, but in print media.
yeah.
Wow, wow. So if I can tug at your heartstrings for a moment, based upon your experiences, based upon your conversations with your dad, if your son is out there, and I'm praying that somehow he sees this, what would you say to him?
Well, I love my son, and not having a father for most of my life, it only made me more determined to be there for my children. Like I said, I got my kids when they were 14 and raised them by myself. I was a single dad. I would just want my son to know I love him, and no matter what he's going through, there's nothing that would change my love for him. You know, he could be the worst person in the world. I'm still going to love him, whatever shame or anything that he's going through. You know, I just want him to know home is still here, and we miss you. And most of all, his twin sister. I mean, they're twins, and I've seen that connection they have. She may be experiencing something that we can't even understand.
Wow. Did you get her any counseling, by the way?
No professional counseling, no. She's okay as far as I can see, but if she ever needs that, you know, that's definitely because we were getting that for him before he disappeared.
Yeah, it might be a good idea
Yeah.
to do that for her, even though she doesn't express it, because a lot of times children don't want to be an additional burden.
Right.
So maybe if someone is out there and watching and is able to do a pro bono, reach out to us, and we'll make sure we get that information to your daughter. Now, we need your son's name so that if anybody runs into him, they can make the connection. What's his name?
His name is Christian Muse.
Christian Muse, okay.
AKA Twin. A lot of people call him Twin because he's twin.
Christian Muse, okay.
Yes.
So if you run into Christian Muse, and again, we're going to have when this broadcast, we'll have an image of Christian. Make sure you get that to us.
Okay.
And if you run into him, please, please, please reach out to us here at the station, or we're going to right now have you look into the camera to tell people how they can get in touch with you, both in regards to your son and also in regards to your music. And also the last thing is to tell us, where can we see you guys perform?
We are actually scheduled to perform at Blues Alley in Georgetown, January the 20th. April, fortunately, like what she saw and it's getting us up there. We have a spot date at this place in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, called the Old Town Inn on the 20th of November.
Okay. Also right in time for the holidays.
Yes.
Okay, so that's actually coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
And we're actually there every first and third Thursday of each month, but we're going to miss today because of some pre-obligated situations. To get in touch with the Birth of Dorian, there's the Birth of Dorian Facebook page. You can just go to that and send me any information. And then the Michael Muse Facebook page. You'll know it's me.
Perfect.
when you go there. It's not too many cats named Michael Muse I've seen.
Well, you know what? We have run out of time.
Wow. And
I really, really appreciate you coming and sharing your story.
Thank you.
And we're going to send up prayers for your son
Please do.
that situation is resolved. And and by the way, thank you so much. I know you guys got called on in the last minute, but thank you for coming and gracing our set this morning.
My cruise.
And that's going to do it for us this week on Metro Magazine. Actually, stay tuned for the second half of this week's Metro Magazine, because we're going to be sharing some of our wonderful interviews that will be taking place at the Metropolitan Cooking and Entertaining Show is what I meant to say. And we look forward to sharing some of those interviews with you. So stay tuned for the second half, and I'll see you back here in a moment.
All right.
Queen Bee is a book about some of the habits, some of the things that we women do really to undermine ourselves and undermine other women. And it's something that we really can't afford to do any longer. It's actually a book that is a combination of research that I've done interviewing other women and men about what is it that has kept us over the years from becoming the empowered women that we say we are. I have taken interviews from women who talk about some of the experiences they've had in working with other women, either in the capacity of just having relationships in different types of settings, whether it be in the corporate boardroom or a lot of the women that I talk to are entrepreneurs, but really just delving into not just the things that we do in terms of day-to-day, to perform our jobs, but really looking at the things that are really holding us back. one of the things that's interesting to me is the fact that if you take a woman, an average woman, and if you're honest, and put her in a room with 15, 20 other women and have a gorgeous woman walk in the room, watch the reaction. Chances are very good she's not going to like her, and it has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that she, in their own minds, looks a certain way. If you take that and reverse it, and you are the woman who thinks that everything about yourself is intact, you're going to respond to that woman in a different way. And you're going to listen to her rather than look at her physical being. And that's what I want women to do. I want us to stop looking at what we have on, whether or not, we're thinner or heavier than the next woman, but really to look at who we are as women.
Good morning, and we're coming at you live from the Metropolitan Cooking and Entertaining Show here at the Washington Convention Center in Washington, D.C. You can tell I'm high this morning because I'm here with all of this food and all of these wonderful people talking about food and talking about drink and all kinds of wonderful things that you can take advantage of over the upcoming holiday season. We're here, and I'm so nervous, you can probably tell. I'm on TV all the time, but I'm nervous this morning because I'm actually here with someone who my husband absolutely loves, Daisy Cakes. She was on the Shark Tank, and she's actually here with us live this morning. Daisy, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, Bonnie.
I was walking around taking in all of the food, and I did not know you were here because I didn't have a chance to look at all of the exhibitors. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, there you were in the flesh. So tell me, talk about Daisy Cakes and what's happened since you were on Shark Tank.
Well, it's been quite a journey. Okay. I originally aired on season 2, and I got to get a follow-up for season 3 and season 5.
Oh, wow.
And still, have really close ties and communication with Barbara. She sent me a great text last night, and she's constantly helping me and her other entrepreneurs to grow our business. And I mean, I tell everybody, though, I'm her favorite, but she loves us all.
But I love Barbara because I love the fact that she feels, I think, the people that she invests in. And if you think about why we're here and all of the people that are exhibiting here over the weekend, most of them, for the most part, are entrepreneurs. Talk about what that means for you to be in a space like this and what it means to your business.
Well, it's 24/7. You eat it, you breathe it, you dream it, everything is, it's all encompassing. And I even went to an exhibit yesterday at the National Geographic Museum on food.
Okay. Couldn't pass it up, right?
I couldn't. I really. Degas, National Geographic food. The food run out. But, it is. You're totally, it's part of your being.
Right.
Down to your very soul. It's what you do. It's what you love. You don't think about anything else. And it truly, to me, honestly, never seems like work. Mm-hmm. I love what I do. I couldn't wait to get in the car to drive up here with our little freezer and our cake samples and everything. And next weekend we're on to Cleveland. And no, I love it. I love it. I love being with the people. I love seeing face to face, not just talking to somebody over the phone.
Right.
Taking an order or whatever. I just love I love this. This is good. It's therapeutic and it's fun, and I enjoy it.
Okay.
I really do.
And one of the things that really impressed me about you when you were on was at one moment you started talking about what your business meant. And you became very emotional. What was that like? Because here you are with millions of people watching you, and all of a sudden you lost it. Tell me, what was that moment like?
Well, when you start reflecting back on what has brought you to this point in your life, and it's your grandmothers and your great Aunt Daisy, and it's your those fond memories of childhood, and all the fun things that you got to do, it is very emotional.
It is.
And I have my new cookbook out.
Oh, do you?
I do.
You didn't bring a copy?
I didn't. I don't even think about stuff.
Okay.
But I have it here.
We're here. We're informal. We're going to send my assistant over here to run and get her cookbook because I absolutely want people to see the cookbook.
Thank you. Ask my son to hand it to you from under the counter. He will. Thank you, dear. So, in reflecting back on those stories, because almost every recipe has a picture, but almost every recipe has a story.
Okay.
And that was really, really an emotional journey for me.
Yeah.
All good and all happy, but still, you're just touching on things and recalling things that are, in the back of your mind that you haven't thought about in a while. And it's really, It was wonderful, and then I got to take that journey with my mother and my father, and
wow.
it was an opportunity of a lifetime for me. I wouldn't take it back for anything.
Yeah, and we're a kindred spirit because my grandmother, because I have a foundation in food as well. I have many things that come underneath my umbrella, my business umbrella, but food is being one of them, mainly because I love people, and what a perfect way to engage people than over a bit of food. And here we have the cookbook.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh,
well,
I
it's on the
love
stand,
this.
but yeah.
Yeah, we're going to take it off the stand. Is that
No,
okay?
you can. It's mounted to
Okay.
it. I'm sorry.
Here's the cookbook. And how long has it been out?
About a month.
A month,
Not
so it's
too
hot
long.
off the press.
Yeah, hot off the press.
Wow, you know what? I love the colors, and that's a wonderful photograph of you. So talk to me about some of the favorite recipes you have in here.
Chocolate chip zucchini bread.
Okay.
I'll show you one of my personal favorites. Is my great Aunt Daisy's chocolate pie.
Oh my God, to die for.
To die for. It's the one thing.
And it looks like it's dark chocolate.
It is, and I can stick my finger right in there and eat it. And the photography is so lovely too. I mean, to me, it looks like it's just sitting right out there in front of you.
Let's turn it around. Oh my God, sweet potato pie. I mean, pecan pie.
Pecan pie. Sweet potato pie's in there too. I'm actually demoing that today.
Are you?
Sweet potato
you know
pie.
What I'm gonna see if maybe our grandmothers exchanged recipes.
Okay.
Because you're from the South. I'm from the South as well. But here's her. Oh, it's this camera. Okay. Can you get that? And what about the cover?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Barbara picked out the yellow. She said you got to do the yellow cover. So we chose a yellow cover.
I love this. And where can they find the book?
It's available on my website at ilovedaisycakes.com. And then I also have some here.
Okay, I love Daisy Cakes. I love daisycakes.com. And she's also here at the convention center. And if you're sitting home now and you're wondering what to do this afternoon, if you're in this area, I invite you to come over because we have some amazing people who are displaying their products. And from my standpoint, since I'm also an entrepreneur, we need to support one another. It's not the big companies. They hire a lot of people, but it's really people like you who keep the American economy going. And I am so grateful that you came over. And thank you. And yes, I'm going to come over and sample just a little bit, even though I'm training.
Just one little bite. And sweet potatoes are healthy.
I know.
So you can have just one little bite.
But if it's as good as my grandmother's,
might have more than a bite.
Yes. Daisy, thank you so much for coming over.
I appreciate it.
And I'll see you in a little bit.
Please do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of the child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism.
Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Really? Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point. There's smoky.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
And if you're just joining us, we're here at the Washington Convention Center at the Metropolitan Cooking and Entertaining Show. And I have as our next guest, Reginald Knight. I got the name right?
Correct.
Okay,
yes.
From Smackison's. And he's going to talk to you about the awesome product that he has here on display this weekend.
Thank you for having me, Bonnie. Well, we have 3 pepper sauces and 3 spice blends.
Okay.
Gluten-free, all natural, only 5 calories per teaspoon. We've got 2 mango habanero and jalapeno, and 1 really, really hot tomato and pineapple ghost pepper.
Okay.
They're really good on any protein, any vegetable. They're probably good on roadkill, but I can't confirm that.
And you didn't bring any samples of the product to show us on camera.
I did not.
Okay. Anyway, but we can talk about the booth number that you're in.
We're in 819.
Okay.
We have some samples for you to try with the sauce because we like to get you to imagine incorporating our sauces with the way you cook.
Okay. Okay.
We've got some pulled pork and we've got some turkey meatballs that are absolutely delicious. So come by and grab one.
You know, and I was over there earlier this morning. I had to stand back because he was cooking food and I didn't want to smell food all the rest of the day. But talk to me about how you started. You said you've just been out for about 18 months?
Yes.
Okay, talk to me about your journey a little bit.
Well, in 2012, we moved from Georgia to Virginia.
Okay. What part of Georgia?
We were in Cumming, Georgia, in Forsyth County, North Georgia, a foothill of the mountains.
Okay.
So we went to a barbecue. The meat was beautiful, but very bland, tasteless, really bad. So we had to go to another event about a month later, and I told my wife, I'll go to the barbecue, but I won't eat that nasty barbecue again. So
you're talking about your guest food.
So I remember some of the taste and flavors that we experienced in the Caribbean. Okay. Because my wife and I, we go to St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. Martin every year, sometimes twice a year. Mm-hmm. And so we get off the reservation. We go back to the places where most tourists won't go.
Okay.
And over a number of years, 10 or 12 years, I kind of gleaned some of those flavors. And so I put something together. I took it to the barbecue. I brought a big pot. And people were saying, hey, this is really good. You should bottle this. And I was saying, maybe you're right.
Should.
Yeah. So 6 months later, we found a co-packer.
Okay.
And we did all the processes because, it's an involved process. Mm-hmm. 3 weeks later, we rolled off the first bottles. Mm-hmm. And we're in our 7th processing phase right now. We sell out nearly every time.
Now, you said that customers can find you in food outlets. Talk about the stores that you're in.
We're in Whole Foods, Virginia.
Now, that says a lot. You're in Whole Foods, and I bring that up. The fact that he's in Whole Foods means that your ingredients are good ingredients because they don't take junk in that store.
Here's the thing, is that it's garbage in, garbage out. You take the best ingredients and you take cooking techniques. You don't have to be a top chef, but if you do things right, anything that you have, beef, pork, fish, vegan dish, our sauces enhance what you have.
Okay. And I really want to show some of your products. Just tell me the booth number again. I'm going to have my assistant run again. 819 is that the
819.
If you can do a quick run and tell them to give you some samples because we want to show them on air.
Now I'm surprised you haven't asked me how we got the name Smackisons, because it's a very interesting story. So I'll tell you.
Well, I don't want you to get arrested because based on what you told me earlier.
And it's not what you think.
Okay, tell me.
Well, we have 3 children now. 2 of our children are adopted.
See, I told you I don't want you to get arrested.
Wait a minute, hold on. Hold on. When my biological son was our only child, he was really bored one rainy Saturday morning.
So you smacked him?
No. He wanted me to play a wrestling game with him, which is called SmackDown.
Okay.
All right, so let's clear that up. So.
No, he's not a child abuser.
No, I'm not.
I'm just messing with you.
I know it. So he didn't want me to pick a character. He wanted me to build an avatar. It took about an hour to build, so I'm a little frustrated with him. So when we finished, he says, what are you going to name? I said, I'm going to name it Dad Smackison. And we roll on the floor laughing. Ha ha. About 2 weeks later, we're having dinner. And out of the blue, he says, Dad, if you ever have a restaurant, you should name it Smackisons.
Wow.
And I said,
You made an impression.
So I Googled it. There was no Smackisons, thankfully. And so we copyrighted the name.
Okay.
And there we are.
Wow. Now you're in this business. I met your lovely wife.
Yes, Darlene.
Darlene. And any other family members? I know you have children, so that you get free labor.
Well, well, first of all, let me give a shout out.
Let me tell you though.
Yes.
I have children, and that free labor works for a minute. My daughter is a businesswoman. She charges me for the work she does.
Well, see, my oldest son Isaac, he's not much of a worker. He's a thinker.
Okay.
Because you tell him to take out the garbage. Yeah, he wants to subcontract out to Prince or Jeremiah, his siblings. He's a budding entrepreneur.
Okay. Now, how old is he?
He's 12.
Okay. And you wanted to do a shout out a couple of minutes ago. I interrupted you.
So,
go ahead.
Hello to Isaac 12, Prince 9, and Jeremiah 7. I hope you behave yourself. Take care. Okay.
So we have your product here. So talk about this one first.
Okay. St. Thomas is our milder sauce. It is mango, habanero, jalapeno. It's good on anything. It's our most popular seller.
Okay.
Because some people like a little heat, but not like a whole lot of heat. This is the best. And this is actually the first one I created.
Okay.
We went to a little hole in the wall in St. Croix.
Okay.
And we had some callaloo, and that's made with taro root.
I love callaloo. Okay, now you're talking my language.
And he came out with a little Pepsi squirt bottle, and it looked like this. And I was like, this is delicious. What's in there? He wouldn't tell me everything. I said, is there mustard in there? Yeah, there's mustard in there. So I would go back to various places over the years, and I kind of pieced it together. So this is my take on that part of the Caribbean.
Okay, now talk about this one.
Now, the St. John ghost pepper.
These are mine, by the way. I didn't want you to know.
Oh, I know that. I know that. Yes, that's part. Hey, that's part of the admission fee. This is tomato and pineapple with
nice
ghost
combination.
pepper.
Okay.
And it's really
what kind of
good.
pepper?
With ghost pepper.
Ghost pepper.
Ghost pepper is 1.3 on the Scoville scale, so it's really high.
Okay.
So to make it commercially feasible, I had to pare it down quite a bit.
Okay.
Now, and here's the thing: any food, this food, can blend up a pepper and put it in a bottle and call it hot sauce. But it takes a real technician to take a hot pepper and get the flavor out of it to the point where you can put it on anything.
Okay.
This is my favorite with wings and chili. So enjoy.
But
that.
I can put it on shrimp though, right? Since I don't need.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And a little dab of Adulia because it's all natural.
Okay.
So, you know.
And I was looking at your ingredient label, and it's very, very short, which is another way to find out, to know if you're eating good stuff. If it has too many ingredients in it, and also if you cannot pronounce them and you have no idea what it means, you probably shouldn't eat it. So, I'm sorry, go ahead and talk about the last one.
The difference between the St. Croix and the St. Thomas, this is double the pepper.
Oh, Lord. So I should stay away from this one.
Well, you taste more fruit of the pepper and a little less of the mango.
Okay.
Now, when we went to Whole Foods came to the Richmond Food and Beverage Show, which we had last March, and they tasted it, and they said, we like these sauces.
Okay.
But they said the exact same you said. We want to make sure that these things are safe for our customers to eat.
Right.
And so they scrutinized us, and we went through it took us about 6 months for us to go through this process.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're in and we're selling well. We've done 8 demos with them, and we've sold out every time.
Okay.
So it's good for my family. My family loves the St. Croix with turkey meatballs, the same that you'll have today if you come over to the booth.
Okay.
So I feel good about this product. My father cooked. My mom didn't cook. The only thing she could boil was water, and she burned it half the time.
Is your mother watching this?
No, my mother is gone.
Okay, so she's praying for you right now, like, Lord, save him.
I hope she's praying for me, but she knows it's the truth. But my father cooked, and so this is not just something for my kids; it's an homage to my father.
Okay.
Because he would make these really.
Is your dad with us still?
No,
he's gone too. Okay.
But he used to make these crazy cakes. He never made a cake that was level in his life. It kind of looked like a Rock of Gibraltar or some sort of.
But it was
train wreck.
good, right?
It was delicious.
Okay.
See, we didn't have those fancy cake pans back in those days. He would make it with a boiler or a pot or something he could stick in the stove. And I guess I was inspired from that because this is what I love to do.
Wonderful. Well, you know what? I am so grateful to you for stopping in to talk about your product and also to give us an opportunity to support small business. If you could, one more time, just let them know, you can look into that camera and let people know which booth you're in. And by the way, you will be here all weekend. So
I will be, Saturday and Sunday. We're in 819. Oh, I'm a veteran, by the way. So if any veterans out there, I know you guys upstairs, come down and get a meatball. I'll thank you for your service, shake a hand. We'll talk about mutual injuries or something, I don't know. We believe that people like us are going to build this nation back to what it should be. Not that it's bad now, but things could be better for a lot of people. Let's start here. Let's stop putting the blame on other things. Come on to us, have a meatball, let's talk, let's figure this thing out. Thank you.
Reggie, thank you so much.
Thank you so
much. It was my pleasure.
Same here.
Alrighty.
Come on, get some meatball.
No, I'll come and get some shrimp.
Oh, that's right, I forgot. We have a demo at, is it 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. I'll be serving the easiest shrimp you can make. If you can't make this shrimp, you shouldn't be around open flame. It is so easy and so tasty, you can't believe it. Hey, like us on Facebook. We're on Smackers and St. Croix Pepper Sauce. Go to our webpage, www.smackers.com. We've got how-to videos, recipes, the whole shebang, absolutely free, except the sauce. You have to pay for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, take care.
All right, bye-bye.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year, 1 in 195 million. The odds of the child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 110. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism.
Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
And we're coming at you live from the Washington Convention Center. I know we've been on a break, but we had to go and walk the floor and eat and do all that cool stuff. So we're back this afternoon with Candace Camille, the willologist, and she's going to be presenting in just a moment, talking about getting, what is it,
just turning it up, turning up the value of your wellness. And that's what it all was. Just take it to another level, tuning it up for the holidays. You know, we get crazy around the holiday time. What can I eat? What I can't eat? So basically, we're going to talk about how you can still stay in this pleasure of eating and still stay healthy and well through this holiday season. So we're going to turn up the value. We're going to show you how to get well. And then we're going to keep it moving. So you're talking about being well adjusted, right? Okay. So we're going to show you how to think well, how to eat well, and most importantly, how to move well. So come on over and join us. We're going to be hula hooping. We're going to be dancing. We got some trampoline going on. So whatever your pleasure is to have fun, because it's all about just having fun while you're going through your holidays, so you don't get too tense about what I'm supposed to eat and not supposed to eat. Because as long as you move and follow the 80-20 rule, which means eat good 80% of the time, so that 20% of the time you could just have your treat days. So enjoy the holidays.
Excellent, excellent. You know, and I didn't get an opportunity to come over and view your workshop this morning because I was setting up for my own. I'm doing double duty here today. But I did see some photographs, and you actually had men out there hula hooping.
Okay, 3 of them, and I'm aiming to get Henry up next. But the thing about it is that I dared them to come up and do it. I had their wives do it, then put them deadly on the spot. But here's the deal. They came up and did better than some of the women. Wow. So I was totally impressed at that. So this afternoon, I got the word out. I need 3 more men. If you're listening up, come on over and hoop with us on our level of hooping, not hooping. So
I love it. You know, one quick thing about hooping. Isn't it good for the metal?
Oh, absolutely.
So that beer belly that you guys are drinking all that beer and getting that beer belly from watching football,
sitting down.
Great opportunity for them to get. Come on.
Actually, just to get over here, hoop, learn what the core is all about. So the thing about it, we women always worried about our stomachs, but the guys, that's where they gain the weight as they get older.
Right.
And in doing the hula hoop for like 10 minutes a day, 3 times a week, that will help them bring their beer belly down. So while they're sitting down, looking at the game, or rather sitting down, they can actually hoop between half times and then have it going on and don't have to worry about it. That's a great way to get it in.
I love it. And Candace, thank you so much for stopping in and just giving us a glimpse of what's going to happen in about, 3 minutes?
3 minutes.
So we're going to have to let you go, but thank you again. And you're on this afternoon, and I guess that's it for you for this convention. Yep. But you know what? You're going to see her back here again next year, and look for her on other stages around the country.
Yes, and they can hit me up at The Willologist on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So just The Willologist. And let us know what you think. So stop by the booth so we can see what's going on.
Excellent. You go, girl.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.
Henry, I'll see you in 10.